Right now this morning, 4 candidates vying to be La Crosse's next mayor go head-to-head on the city's biggest challenges. And the chocolate treat that's actually good for you. Find out how this craving crusher can keep you energized between meals on Foodie Friday.
Plus, we have a nice day today ahead. Mild conditions with increasing clouds. We'll also see, again, snow coming back later on tonight, and that's going to push a weather alert day. We'll talk about that in a moment.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Friday, February 7th. Thank you for joining us. So the cold is back, the snow is back, but we might not be getting quite as much snow. Is that right? Is that the story?
Right now, that's what it's looking like, but it
Okay.
could change within the next 3 to 6 hours here.
Right.
So let's get into your forecast here as we take a look. We are holding on to the possibility of snow getting heavy at times tomorrow as we go right into it. 2 to 8 inches of snow on the ground. You can see snow-covered roadways could be a little bit hazardous as well. We'll also carry over into the day where you're looking at a winter storm watch, and that's in the purple, I should say light blue. That's going to carry over to 5 to 7 inches of snow. The winter weather advisory, that's at least 2 to 4 inches of snow. And can we get that snow to La Crosse, though? That's the thing, and to the south. We'll hold on to that with moisture coming in from the Pacific. That continues to stretch closer, heading our way as we finish out the day, going into the overnight hours. You can see that coming in, vaulting up to the north there eventually, and then kind of sagging down to the south, bringing that snow right back toward us here along I-90 as well. And then once that's done, we get into mostly sunny skies leading into your Sunday. And looking pretty good for a nice little day. More of the quiet and cold, though, still holds on to the forecast as it will be much colder going into the first half of next week. Look at the snow, the possibilities of this carrying over as we go into the overnight. You're picking up that snow, 2 to 4 inches up by Ladysmith, 4 to 8 inches by Eau Claire. La Crosse looking at 1 to 2 inches of snow, possibly. We were at 4 to 8 yesterday. That's kind of a bummer, right? But that's the way things go. We'll also see this is a fast-moving system. It comes in and gets out of the way. Temperatures right now in the single digits to at least the double digits down to the south for Eau Claire. La Crosse, I should say, getting into at least 15 for Prairie du Chien. It's about, say, minus 8 degrees over in Eau Claire right now. It feels like it's about 11 degrees in La Crosse. Get out and enjoy it if you can. Enjoy your day and have a wonderful one.
Thank you, Art. Housing, homelessness, and heated debate at UWL as La Crosse's mayoral candidates faced off for the first time. La Crosse residents packed in to hear how the 4 candidates would tackle the city's biggest challenges. The city's approach to homelessness took center stage. La Crosse is now in year 2 of its Pathways Home Plan, a partnership aiming to end homelessness in the city by 2029. While all candidates backed the initiative, they offered different views on what more needs to be done.
We have to be doing a better job as a community of picking up those individuals and putting them back into work and back into housing because they just need that little lift. That's the missing piece to the Pathways Home.
The high percentage of those that are homeless, generally a result of drug and mental health addiction. And I am going to push, I've already talked to one state rep and actually the governor to push to get a state-funded detox and mental health counseling facility on the west side of the state.
Candidates were also asked about creating more affordable housing. According to the city's planning department, La Crosse will need to add at least 200 housing units in the coming years to keep up with demand.
City planning is doing a great job of doing redevelopment and providing funding for renovations to current homes and current properties, while also exploring what land do we have that is buildable, what vacant buildings do we have that we can repurpose.
What we need to make sure we do is when we do add that housing, we have that balance of affordability, and we make sure that that infill is sensitive to the neighborhood so that there isn't a disruption to the neighborhood.
La Crosse residents will vote in the mayoral primary February 18th. At that point, the field will be cut to 2 candidates. This morning, President Donald Trump, along with the federal government, are facing legal challenges on multiple fronts nearly 3 weeks into his second term. It comes as federal workers now have a few more days to decide whether to take the Trump administration's offer to resign. CBS's Naomi Ruckham has more.
Federal civilian workers now have until Monday night to decide if they want to step down under President Donald Trump's deferred resignation offer. A federal judge in Boston temporarily halted the program as he also considers a legal challenge from unions.
The judge is saying, let's pause until I hear more.
The White House press secretary says tens of thousands of federal employees have already accepted the offer of full pay and benefits through September 30th. Overnight, the Trump administration appealed a Washington state federal judge's ruling that temporarily blocked his executive order to end birthright citizenship.
This was not meant for the whole world to come in and pile into the United States of America.
That filing came hours after another federal judge in Maryland also ruled against the president's order.
We do not have a king. We have a president.
Meanwhile, CBS News has learned that New York Attorney General Letitia James and several other attorneys general will challenge Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency over its access to sensitive systems and data.
And one more legal challenge breaking overnight. 2 labor unions are now suing the Trump administration over the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development, also known as USAID. Sources tell CBS News there are plans to slash the number of employees there from thousands to less than 300. Wisconsin's Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin looking for answers from the White House. Federal funding has been blocked for Wisconsin Head Start. Program leaders are now locked out of pay systems to keep their child care operations running. Head Start provides child care and preschool education to more than 10,000 Wisconsin children. And charges have been filed against a suspect in an Eau Claire homicide. 18-year-old Dumarion Stonier faces 10 charges, including first-degree intentional homicide. He's accused of shooting and killing Andre Simmons Jr. in January. His preliminary hearing is set for February 25th. A cut in federal funding is threatening the future of a number of domestic violence shelters across Wisconsin, including Eau Claire's Bolton Refuge House. News 8 Now's Allison Fergus spoke with the house's director about the future of shelters across the state and the price of safety.
Last March, Congress set a new limit on the amount of funds from the Victims of Crime Act that can be dispersed to states. And with the cut to accessible funds, Bolton Refuge House is facing an uncertain future.
We were among the very first to establish a domestic violence shelter.
Paula Stitchen was here when the Bolton Refuge House opened its doors in the late 1970s. She remembers the days when places like this didn't exist.
There was no information out for women in terms of just a whole lot of services that were available in Eau Claire, and we wanted to consolidate that.
Over the decades, they've expanded their services, now helping thousands of residents throughout Buffalo, Eau Claire, and Jackson counties. At the heart of it all, a 24 hours a day, 365 days a year emergency shelter, the only one of its kind in the area.
Not just in Eau Claire County, but in the full greater Chippewa Valley.
Each year, more than 150 women and children come through their emergency shelter's doors. When we visited, 15 beds were in use, beds now on the brink of closing.
It's very fragile. Where we are sitting is very fragile.
In the past, Wisconsin's DOJ awarded the Bolton Refuge House $250,000 a year from the Victims of Crime Act. A federal cap has now limited how much individual organizations can receive in Wisconsin. This year, Bolton was awarded just $90,500. Wisconsin's Act 241 has helped provide a financial cushion while they deal with the cuts, but that act is set to expire this June.
If we don't see something different shortly that's going to address the loss in June of those monies, that's where we can sit with having to make some critical decisions.
Like potentially reducing or cutting some victim services, including the shelter.
The least funded program is the emergency shelter. And when I say the least funded, it doesn't get federal or state grants. That is because of the fact it's a non-mandated service.
In 2023, 85 people died in Wisconsin from domestic violence-related incidents, a number Stein says will go up as funding for shelters like theirs goes down.
The reality is that if we don't exist, we will lose our most viable resources in the community, which is humans' lives.
Now the Bolton Refuge House is asking the community to help through either financial donations or calls to lawmakers.
We're going to have a call back to the community saying, hey, we were here for you in 1976. You guys got to be here for us in 2025 going forward.
Bolton Refuge House isn't the only one faced with a tight budget. Most other organizations that receive VOCA dollars also saw their funding cut, like New Horizons in La Crosse. In western Wisconsin, domestic violence shelters are few and far between. Stein says other shelters facing cuts makes matters even worse.
And we also asked Stein about the potential freeze on federal funding. While the executive order is held up in court, she says if it goes into effect, Bolton House could only operate a few months before having to make significant cuts or closing. Time now is 6:09. Still ahead on your morning news, LG is recalling 500,000 electric stoves. You can now get married at the Las Vegas Strip's Taco Bell, and Starbucks Rewards members can get free coffee on Monday.
There are no belts to buckle in this car, but seatbelt use has now been required by law for 40 years. I'm Bradley Blackburn with a trip back in time to the launch of landmark legislation that saved countless lives.
And for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Today is National Periodic Table Day. The day celebrates the challenges chemists overcame to develop the modern periodic table. English chemist John Newlands published one of the first tables of elements in 1863. That included the 56 known elements at the time. The current table organizes 118. How many of those do you remember? Now we'll take a live look at the Super Bowl stage. Oh, it's blue, the Superdome. This is in New Orleans, of course. On Sunday, the Chiefs and Eagles will battle for the Lombardi Trophy. Stay with us, your consumer news. Oh, look, changing colors. Consumer news is coming up next.
Wisconsin winters are no joke. Just ask Barry the Bear. Every year he hibernates to escape the cold, but hibernating on an old lumpy mattress? It's unbearable. So Barry came to King's Furniture because right now you can trade in your old mattress for $100 towards a new one. Get this closeout therapeutic mattress and box spring for just $4.99 when you trade in your old mattress.
Oh, now that's hibernation heaven.
Survive the winter and make your den a little comfier at King Furniture.
Firefighters Credit Union has been offering home financing since before the advent of the internet. We have brick and mortar here in the community and have been around for nearly a century. With over 50 years of experience between Matt and Troy, we're local lenders here for you that you know and you trust.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Brad Schimmel's ad, it's a lie. So here's the truth. Schimmel wants to bring back the 1849 law that bans all abortions, with no exceptions for rape or incest. Schimmel gave plea deals to child molesters, let domestic abusers walk with no jail time. And he's the one who let 6,000 rape kits sit untested for 2 years, while survivors waited for justice. That's Brad Schimmel. Too extreme for the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
We're an implant-focused practice. I think the advantage of a father-daughter practice is, I've been at this for 30 years now. I learned things that worked well and things that didn't work so well.
And it was fun to be able to just jump in and kind of complement that. I feel like it made both of us stronger.
You don't expect it when you walk into a dental office. You don't expect the family aspect, but when you walk into our doors, we're going to give you that.
If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 715-469-6907. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 715-469-6907. Again, that's 715-469-6907.
All right, well, good morning to you as we get into your local forecast. As I mentioned before, moisture coming off the Pacific and then working its way through the Rockies and then eventually cutting through the northern plains states and then eventually getting in our area here. Winds right now are light currently. You can see them up to about 10 miles per hour. We'll also see current temperatures holding on to at least 2 to about, say, 11 degrees. And down to the south, we're looking at 15 degrees in the forecast. Feels like, though, it's -8 in Eau Claire. Feels like it's 11 degrees in La Crosse. Feels like it's 15 over in Prairie du Chien. sheen, so that's pretty much par for the current temperature right now, with increasing clouds for La Crosse as we go through the morning. Kids going to school this morning looking at least partly cloudy skies at 13 degrees, possibly warming up to about, say, 3 o'clock. You're looking at 28 degrees in your forecast. We'll also carry over to Eau Claire, where you're looking at conditions for increasing clouds gradually through the morning hours and into the afternoon, where you're getting into mostly cloudy to cloudy skies by the early evening hours. As we go into 13 degrees for La Crosse with a mild start here, finishing out going into the afternoon, heading home, you're looking at 28 degrees with mild, and those winds, they may not tick up too much. They're not going to be too breezy, but we're also looking at highs today from at least 18 to about, say, 34 degrees today. As I've mentioned, mild and quiet with the light winds right now. By 10 o'clock tonight, we go into it here, I should say overnight tonight, we're going to get into snow moving to the forecast area. It's going to lift up and then come right back down, drop of at least 2 to 8 inches of snow on top of us, possibly for all areas here getting into the forecast. Yeah, we lost some of that snow potential as we get into it, but you can see how it comes up, vaults up, and then kind of moves out of the way as we go right through the day and then finish out by the afternoon hours. Snow tracker showing you as you increase the snow coming in for the overnight going into Saturday. Through Saturday, you're looking at maybe 1 to 2 inches, possibly 4 to 8 inches for some of our highest spots there. And then getting into Saturday, your highs at least from 22 to about 32 degrees. Get out and enjoy that if you can, and have a wonderful day.
In your consumer news, 500,000 LG stoves are under recall, but the fix might surprise you. Instead of refunds or replacements, customers are getting warning stickers. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reports nearly 90 cases of people and pets accidentally turning on front knobs. These incidents caused more than $340,000 in damage and claimed the lives of 3 pets. LG's solution is a warning label reminding owners to use the lock button when the stove is not in use. Not sure pets could read that. And couples can say I do while chowing down on chalupas. Taco Bell is helping lovebirds tie the knot with a wedding package at its location on the Las Vegas Strip. A wedding chapel is on the 2nd floor and features an Elvis officiant, Vegas showgirls, and a sauce packet bouquet. After the ceremony, a quick reception is held for the couples and up to 25 guests. Taco Bell weddings can be booked same day with at least 4 hours notice. And Super Bowl Monday just got a big caffeine boost. Starbucks is offering free coffee to help with those post-game blues. Rewards members can grab a free tall, hot, or iced brew anytime Monday. If you're not a member, you can sign up that day and still score the freebie. The coffee giant is also bringing back self-serve stations and free refills on some drinks. Buckling up when getting in a car is something many of us do without even thinking about it, but it wasn't always that way. 40 years ago, a landmark law helped change the culture around seatbelts and dramatically improved road safety. Bradley Blackburn explains.
At the Vintage Automobile Museum of New Jersey, these cars have one thing in common.
Nothing to buckle, no safety measures.
None at all.
As founder John Mahoney explained, all these autos, from the 1939 Cadillac LaSalle to the Packard Single Six to the Ford Model T, were built before seatbelts were standard safety features.
Was safety even a concern?
No, I don't think safety was a concern because cars didn't go very fast anyway.
Starting in the 1960s, car makers were required by law to install seatbelts, but even then, many people didn't use them.
People thought that it'd be safer to be ejected from a car.
I think you should wear a seatbelt. I do too.
I don't like it.
In January 1985, New York became the first state to require drivers and front seat passengers to use them or face a $50 fine.
Buckle up or else.
A highway survey found use went from 16% to 63% in months.
We've saved over 450,000 lives as a result of seatbelt technology.
David Harkey with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says today more than 90% of people nationwide wear seatbelts, but that means millions still do not.
When you look at the fatality numbers, what we find is almost half of the occupants who are killed in passenger vehicle crashes are not wearing that seatbelt.
Just look at the difference for a test dummy wearing a belt compared to one who's not.
Seatbelts are still the most important safety feature we have in a vehicle.
It's been a long road to get everyone to buckle up and save lives.
Seatbelt technology continues to improve. Safety advocates say automakers are installing better belts in the back seat that can reduce the chance of injuries in a crash. That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over now to Art. He's got a look at our forecast.
Alexandra, I remember the time when I was a little kid, I was sitting on that armrest between the driver's side and the passenger side. My mom hit the brakes and I went flying right into the windshield. So yeah, those are things that are kind of interesting for kids these days, and holding on to safety. Mild conditions, you're holding on to quiet weather this morning and going into the afternoon as well and into your evening hours. Then we've got snow coming in as we go in the overnight hours tonight. We're also going to be picking up snow-covered roadways, taking us to a weather alert day. We're going to have at least 2 to 8 inches of snow in the forecast, and that's pretty much going to reach everybody getting into the forecast. So let's take a look what I've got going on for you. First, we start off with the winter weather advisory. That's going to put us into at least a 2 to 4 inch of snow accumulation with a winter storm or watch. That's going to be in the blue here. That's going to be at least 5 to 7 inches of snow possibly accumulating. Moisture from the west coast coming our way. It's cutting across most of the plain states, as you can see here right about now, and then carrying over into our forecast region once we get into the overnight hours, lifting up to the north and then kind of dragging back down to the south here, putting snow in the area for all of us going through the morning into the afternoon hours, and in evening we should be done. We're clearing out the skies, possibly getting into mostly sunny skies as we go into Sunday. Monday we're looking at increasing clouds from partly to mostly cloudy skies, and that's going to mean maybe a chance of snow coming in the overnight as a 30% chance, possibly turning to a 20% chance for Tuesday afternoon. The kids going to school today in Eau Claire. You're looking at a cold start today, 6 degrees. It feels a lot colder on your skin. Then you're going to carry over to 21 degrees for the afternoon with mild and quiet conditions for you. And of course, clouds will continue to increase to get to mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. Highs today, 18 to about, say, 20 to 34 degrees. You can see that all the way down the locations here. So up to the north, much colder. You're going to be seeing those clouds on the increase for you today as well, going through the morning into the afternoon hours and into the evening hours as well. We'll pick up by the noon hour. You're looking at 15 to about 27 degrees for you today. More clouds on the increase by the time we get to 3 o'clock for your highs, possibly 21 for Eau Claire and at least 28 for La Crosse, and then continuing on warmer down to the south. And we've got a slight chance of any type of moisture coming in into the evening hours, and by the overnight we'll get that into the forecast, carry it over, lifting up to the north and then dragging back down to the south once we get into sunrise for tomorrow. So we're losing a lot of that snow potential that we had I showed you yesterday, carrying over right into the 11 o'clock hour, and 3 o'clock we should be done. So we're losing out on another 3 hours of snow potential of accumulation that we should have had through this forecast. By 7 o'clock we're done. We go right back into your accumulations. You're looking at least maybe getting up to about 2 to 4 for Ladysmith, 4 to 8 for Eau Claire, and about 1 to 2 inches for La Crosse finishing out the day. Saturday we're looking at least 23 to about, say, 32 degrees for your local temperatures. And of course we've got widespread snow in the forecast with increasing clouds through the day, taking us right back into the possibility of mild conditions into the weekend. Yeah, still a bit mild on Sunday, but it's a little bit colder going into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Much colder into the forecast, and then gradually warming you back up to the mild by Friday. Be safe.
Thank you, Art. Coming up, why dead birds on Lake Michigan have Wisconsin zoos on alert. We'll have those details after the morning sports blitz.
Coming up next in the Blitz, the Aquinas girls basketball streak on the line in a battle against Central. Plus, more highlights from the hardwood and ice after this.
Susan Crawford. She's the prosecutor who locked up violent criminals, the judge who's kept them off the street, and the leader who fought for abortion rights. On the Supreme Court, she'll look at the facts and uphold the law. Fair, impartial, common sense. That's Judge Susan Crawford.
For me, being a judge is really pretty simple. There's right and there's wrong, and I'll always do the right thing for Wisconsin.
To everyone who's hungry for something special,
Culver's is the place for us. Hi, what can I make fresh for you today? It's nice being greeted by people who are glad to see you. And I appreciate that they use real ingredients, like fresh beef and Wisconsin cheese. The frozen custard is so fresh and creamy, it tastes like it was made just for us. It's our pleasure. Just spending time with family, that's what mealtime at Culver's is all about.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious!
Hip, knee, or back pain? See if Arch Supports can help you at the Good Feet store.
Increase your home's energy efficiency and enjoy year-round comfort with Asher Lasting Exteriors.
Our windows and doors combine quality craftsmanship and cutting-edge innovation from the trusted brand Renewal by Andersen, and our team provides expert installations backed by industry-leading transferable warranties. Take advantage of our biggest savings ever and receive up to 25% off your entire project. Connect with our team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
Get a free tumbler and up to $200 in rewards cards during the President's Day sale at Home Furniture.
The La Crosse Sports Show is back February 6th through 9th.
Be amazed by Sarah Twister, the incredible performer who balances on her arms while shooting a bow and arrow with her feet.
Get grilling tips from Mad Dog and Meryl.
Learn from top fishing and hunting pros with live demos and expert discussions.
Plus, feed parakeets, try your luck in the trout pond,
and get your trophy rack scored for free.
Come for the deals, stay for the fun.
Open now through Sunday at the La Crosse Center.
Your ticket to outdoor adventure awaits at lacrossesportshow.com.
I feel like I'm reliving the trauma, like it's just a nightmare that I can't wake up from.
Her life changed dramatically 30 years ago, leaving her feeling abandoned by the justice system. Monday at 6, how a change in victims' rights is helping to repair mistakes of the past. Monday at 6.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, you can't understate the importance of last night's Aquinas versus Central girls basketball game. One of the teams will be crowned MVC champs. Blue Golds clipped the Riverhawks by 37 almost a month ago, much closer this time around. Aquinas hasn't lost to an MVC foe in over 3,000 days. Central looking to snap the streak. Pick this one up late second half off the feed from Katie Biondo. Ellie Gillitzer lays it in for 2 of her 15 in the game. Blue Golds would claw back. Ava Willenbring with a big hit from beyond the arc. Visitors take a 3-point lead, but the next trip down, ball skipped over to Alana Simpson. She pulls from distance, got it. We're all tied up. Under a minute left, still tied Aquinas with the trap in the corner. Sammy Davis intercepts the pass, and she's got nobody in front of her, and Aquinas would convert at the free throw line, escaping with a 55-50 win. In Westby, it was Cancer Awareness Night. Lots of pink in the crowd and on the court. Westby would come out hot as Alex Wang gets it on the wing and fires it from downtown to draw first blood. Next possession, same result from Wang, cash money. But then Aliyah Schwem took over, first with a nasty crossover as she gets the floater to fall. Then on the fast break, Schwem again getting the tough shot to go. And that would do it as Viroqua steals one at Westby as the Blackhawks get the win 54-45. Whitehall heads to Pepin, each team hoping to get closer to 500 on the season. First up, Mason Pintock goes cross court and finds Caden Johnston, who puts it on the floor and lays it off the glass. Moments later, Johnston would have active hands on defense and get the steal and lay in to bring the Norse within 1 at the start of the second half. Then a hard rebound grabbed by Aiden Evans, looks and finds William Youngbauer beyond the arc, and splash. Whitehall takes it in the end. Norse win on the road 73-55. To the ice, Avalanche hosting Black River Falls. What a season Calvin Lakowski is having. Leads the state in total goals, and he didn't miss a beat last night. First up off the pass, Lakowski finds the net in just 90 seconds in the game. Then later in the first period, Tigers shorthanded, but Lakowski doesn't care on the breakaway, goes top shelf for his second goal of the game. Black River Falls would go up 2 at another one, but then Ben Bresci takes the shot and connects for another goal. Tigers run away with this one 5-0. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight for what should be a fun Friday Night Frenzy.
When you've trusted your personal injury case to Bygoff and Moody, you're going to feel the weight of the world off your shoulders. You have to concern yourself with getting to the doctor and trying to get better. We'll do everything else, and that's how we get results for our clients.
It's the President's Week sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota, a huge store-wide event. Shop now for big sale prices, 24-month financing, and free gas just for shopping Drury's. Only at Drury's will you find the biggest brands like Canadel, FlexSteel, Stressless, and La-Z-Boy, plus a design team to help you pull it all together. Great sale prices, 24-month financing, and free gas. Now during the President's Week sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Family owned for 100 years.
Welcome to the most honest commercial you've ever seen. Not the cleanest, just the most honest. Today, we're fixing a home's foundation. I mean, that is like the most common thing to see in the world.
Pretty common, yeah.
Right.
So it's the soil that's eroding away, causing those cavities, those voids.
that the foundation then wants to settle into.
And then you guys with your superhero capes show up and fix everything.
Yes, sir.
Get a free and honest inspection with Innovative Basement Authority, a Groundworks company.
At Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics, our goal is to help you and your pet in times of need. We specialize in the gold standard for cruciate ligament repair, the TPLO.
I was worried when I found out Duke had to get knee surgery, but the process was easier than we thought.
Piper had TPLO surgery and is already running again weeks later.
Fetch made possible, one knee at a time. Contact Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics for an orthopedic consultation today.
As head of criminal appeals, Susan Crawford had one job: keep a convicted rapist behind bars. Yet Crawford didn't bother filing the appeal in time, letting the rapist walk free. The victim, already scarred beyond measure, called Crawford's negligence utterly disgusting. Traumatized by Crawford's disregard for justice, her criminal coddling record is an injustice to us all.
After you've been injured in an accident, life becomes chaotic. You have doctor's appointments, medical bills, insurance adjusters harassing you to settle your claim. When you call Bygoff and Rohde, we take care of it all. We get results.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
In your morning medical news, bird flu concerns reach the Milwaukee County Zoo. The zoo closing its aviary after dead birds washed up on Lake Michigan shores. Birds in both Wisconsin and Illinois showed signs of bird flu. State officials are now testing samples while the zoo takes precautions.
We kind of want to err on the side of caution, and better to close the aviary now with these suspicious cases than wait for a confirmed positive, because by then it might be too late and it might already be up here.
And the aviary is home to hundreds of birds, including some endangered species. The CDC's first report under President Trump is raising questions this morning. 3 bird flu studies are missing from this week's research update. The gaps come as H5N1 spreads through dairy, cattle, poultry, and other animals nationwide. This marks the CDC's first release since federal health officials ordered that communications freeze, one that is slowly lifting. And flu cases are peaking for a second time this season. The surge has led to some schools closing across the country. Michael Georgia has more on how to keep your family safe this winter.
Flu cases continue to spread around the country. Elizabeth McGuire's 7th grader is one of them.
I could see the waiting room was completely full when I went in there.
Earlier this week, Bullitt County, Kentucky schools had such a high number of student and staff illnesses, they closed for 3 days so crews could sanitize and deep clean the buildings.
I thought it was a great call on their end. You know, all we can do is keep kids from getting sick, is to definitely keep their hands clean, and when they're sick, they need to stay away, stay at home.
At least 41 states are reporting high or very high levels of flu, and ER visits for the virus have increased nearly 30% compared to the week before. 250,000 hospitalizations are reported to date, and more than 11,000 deaths.
These cases are staggering, but they're not unlike numbers we saw pre-pandemic. We got a little bit spoiled after the pandemic because of precautions that people were taking, and what that resulted in is a little bit of an immunity gap, where society as a whole is less immune. We have slightly lower vaccination rates, and so our defenses are slightly down.
Dr. Rabia De La Torre with NYU Langone Health reminds us that antiviral medications are available, which when given within 1 to 2 days of symptoms can shorten the duration of illness.
We tend to recommend it for people who are high risk, immunocompromised, very young children, pregnant women, people who have severe comorbidities like heart disease or diabetes.
And even in February, doctors say as long as the flu virus is circulating, anyone who's eligible should get vaccinated if they haven't already.
And Gunderson Health System unveiling its Bigger, Better Women's Clinic. The OBGYN department has a new home on the 5th floor. Growing demand pushed them to expand, adding 6 ultrasound rooms and 8 exam rooms to the space.
They've just really enjoyed the new bright space. It's a lot more aesthetically calming because obviously going to your gynecology appointment isn't always the most fun. So that's been nice to have this nice aesthetic pleasing space for them during this time.
Dr. Ted Peck was honored with the naming of the ultrasound wing, a tribute to his 30 years of service with Gunderson. The Lacrosse Sports Show is underway at the Lacrosse Center. The 47th annual event brings hunting and fishing alongside family fun. From balloon animals to archery shows, you can catch it through Sunday.
If you're looking to book a hunting trip, it's here. If you're looking to book a fishing trip, it's here. And just all the resources that are here under one roof. It's just a great place to come down and check out.
You can get your tickets online or at the door. And some other events to let you know about this weekend. Celebrate Wisconsin favorites in music, food, and spirits at the La Crosse Winter Roots Festival. Rock out to some artists, including them Cooley Boys, and enjoy the Big Fat Bloody Mary experience. And get your bowl on for a good cause at the 14th annual Team Vogel Striking Against Cancer. You can bowl with up to 6 people in your lane and stick around for some basket raffles and prizes. And if you like dinosaurs, now's your chance to ride one at Jurassic Quest. In Eau Claire, ride or hang out with some life-sized animatronic dinosaurs, dig for fossils, and bring home your own dinosaur crafts. Now we'll send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our morning commute.
All right, and away we go with that. Holding on to temperatures right now. Still holding on to 11 degrees in La Crosse, 10 in Viroqua, 15 in Prairie du Chien. Up to Eau Claire, you're looking at 2 degrees right now. Feels like it's at least about, say, minus 8 degrees on your skin in Eau Claire. La Crosse feels like 11 degrees out there, 15 degrees in Prairie du Chien. So not much of a wind chill down to the south. Holding on to increasing clouds through the morning hours, not too much in the way of wind today. They're going to be light for us, which is a nice little breather there. Getting into Eau Claire, you've got the increasing clouds as well. Taking it into the noon hour, you're holding on to mostly cloudy skies, and all the way into the latter portion of your afternoon. Cloudy skies as you get into 5 o'clock later on today, though. Kids heading to school, you're looking at 13 degrees for La Crosse with a cool start. And of course, we get into your afternoon, you're going to hold on to 28 degrees out there under mostly cloudy skies, getting ready for increasing clouds later on to the evening hours. Off to school, though, for the kids in Eau Claire, you're looking at a cold start. As I've already told you, they've got a bit of a wind chill. Feels like minus 5 out there. Heading home right now, as you get into the afternoon, I should say, you're looking at least mild and quiet conditions with increasing clouds later on in the evening hours for you as well. Mostly cloudy skies and quiet today for everybody, holding on to 19 to about 34 degrees out there. So a pretty big thermometer. Overnight tonight through Saturday, we're looking at hazardous roadway travel as we pick up at least 3 to 8 inches of snow, possibly lower amounts as you get by La Crosse going down towards Eau Claire as well, maybe 2 to 8 inches, excuse me, maybe 2 to 4 inches or less in the forecast. As you see, we've got this snow coming in. It's going to lift up to the north and then kind of sag back down as we go through the morning and afternoon hours. And by the time we get in the afternoon and get into the evening hours, we're pretty much done by 3 o'clock with snow pretty much done. As we go into the Friday all the way into the overnight for Saturday, we're looking at least 1 to 2 inches for La Crosse, 4 to 8 for Eau Claire. You can see everybody else. Be safe out there. Back to you, my friend.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Marlo is turning 8 months old. She loves to eat and spend time with her big sister.
And Presley's turning 8. She likes to go camping, swimming, sledding, and spend time with her family. Oh, she's holding a bunny there.
Oh, there it is.
And if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
If you want to eat better for your heart on this Go Red for Women Day, we have some details on protein-packed pulses to the sweetest superfood with Hy-Vee dietitian Ruthie Chips. She stops by next on Foodie Friday.
Brad Schimmel let thousands of rape kits sit untested for years.
While rapists walked free and victims waited for justice.
Take it from a sheriff.
A sheriff.
A cop. Brad Schimmel's too extreme for the Supreme Court.
Increase your home's energy efficiency and enjoy year-round comfort with Asher Lasting Exteriors. Take advantage of our biggest savings ever and receive up to 25% off your entire project. Connect with our team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
Dental implants are often the best solution to severe dental issues. If you have infection in your mouth, it does cause trouble other places. A lot of people ignore infection for way too long. And when they finally do something about it, they say not only do they like what they did here, but they feel better overall. In the end, you can have a smile you're proud of and a very healthy mouth.
We're an implant-focused practice. If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
The La Crosse Sports Show is back February 6th through 9th.
Shop the latest gear and explore a massive selection of boats, docks, lifts, ATVs, RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and more.
Save big with exclusive show-only pricing. Grab cash and carry items to take home and enjoy family-friendly entertainment.
Come for the deals, stay for the fun.
If there's too much to see, come back a second day for free.
Open now through Sunday at the La Crosse Center.
Your ticket to outdoor adventure awaits at lacrossesportshow.com.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made a most noble sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat or power again. 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
Increase your home's energy efficiency and enjoy year-round comfort with Asher Lasting Exteriors. Take advantage of our biggest savings ever and receive up to 25% off your entire project. Connect with our team today and request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
Over 2 years, Brad Schimmel tested only 9 rape kits out of 6,000 that needed testing, while rapists walked free and victims waited for justice. Brad Schimmel is just too extreme.
Well, good morning to you and welcome back as we get into your forecast today. Mild conditions with light winds this afternoon getting into the day. We're also holding on to a bit of a cold start this early morning, but we'll change it up, get back to the mild. You can see 20s and 30s expected possibly for our forecast with heavy snow on the way getting into tonight. And overnight hours, we're going to see that going into at least 3 to 8 inches of snow. So covered snow on the ground for the roadways for tomorrow as you're getting into your driving around, doing your errands, taking the kids to practice, things like that. So please be careful with all of this. We're holding on to the possibility of a winter storm watch. That is in blue there. You can see that kind of scattered across the area, as well as a winter weather advisory in the purple. That also kind of moves right over the Cooley region. You can see that as well. As we get into it, your forecast has that moisture coming in for the Pacific, and there's nothing impeding it. It's coming straight off the Pacific, working its way across the plain states there, and then eventually working across our area as we go into the overnight hours. And it's going to move fast through our area, and up and out it goes as we finish out into the afternoon, going into the evening hours for Friday. Highs today from 19 or so all the way up to about 34 degrees under increasing clouds. Light winds, as I mentioned before. Mild conditions will ensue, but as I told you before, this early morning, it's a pretty cold to chilly start for us. We'll hold on to conditions as we go in the late morning hours, at least 9 to about 21 degrees. Then as we finish out going into your afternoon, we're looking at highs of about 19 to about, say, 32 to 34 degrees out there, possibly down to the south. Moisture is going to try to get back in the atmosphere, but will it hit the ground? This is one of those things where it's like, it's a slight chance of that occurring, but we'll see it come in the overnight hours once the moisture starts to build up in the atmosphere. You can see vaulting up to the north and eventually sagging down to the south there. You can see that and all the way down into Prairie du Chien as well as Decorah, holding on to the possibilities of this snow getting on the ground for La Crosse as well. Then it begins to break down gradually as we go into 11 o'clock in the morning hours, and into the afternoon you can see it breaking down by 3 o'clock. It gets out of the way. We finish out by about 6, 7 o'clock and we're done. That snow is well out to the east and up and out. It is gone. As far as the snow amounts are concerned, we're looking at The possibilities of at least 2 to 4 inches up to the north, 4 to 8 inches now. So everything's pretty much focused around Eau Claire, getting to Black River Falls as well. They're at 4 to 8 inches. We're now holding on to about 1 to 2, but there is possibility of exceeding some of this snow as you're seeing right now, going into it with some atmospheric changes as we get into high pressure kind of building a little bit more to our east and allowing this moisture to sag further down to the south. Highs for Saturday, where we're looking at least 20s, all the way those low 20s to the upper 20s to the low 30s in the forecast for tomorrow. Cloudy skies will ensue with heavy snow at times. Then we go into Sunday, going into Monday. Sunday has mostly sunny skies, but Monday has increasing clouds with a possibility of snow coming in the overnight hours. Tuesday, colder conditions as a 20% chance rolls through the forecast, and of course is light snow. Wednesday and Thursday, dry conditions for your forecast, taking you right into temperatures from 29 to 28 as we go through today and tomorrow. By Sunday, you're looking at 22 degrees, colder conditions on the way as well as we roll right into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then eventually we'll start to bump those temperatures up as we go into Friday of next week with more snow on the way.
February is, of course, American Heart Month. Today we're exploring 4 fantastic plant-forward foods that can help keep your heart healthy. We're joined to do that by Hy-Vee registered dietitian Ruthie Chips. She's here for Foodie Friday to impart some of your wisdom on us. Good morning, Ruthie. So you're talking about plant-forward eating. So it's not fully vegetarian, right? What is plant-forward eating?
Yes. Hello, Alexandra and Art. Happy Wear Red Day.
Yes, go Red Day for women,
for
right?
women, yes. And heart disease and a focus on heart healthy. So plant-forward foods fits right into that. And it doesn't mean having to go strict vegetarian.
Okay.
It's more of a Mediterranean style of eating where you're incorporating more beans. Example, legumes, lentils, pulses into your eating pattern without having to restrict anything or taking anything out. So it's fish and lots of greenery and fruits and vegetables. So it's really just exploring that on a little bigger scale maybe than you've been doing it last month.
Yeah, okay, and something I found, you start by kind of cutting some of the meat out. You think you're going to miss it so much. You think every meal needs meat, but you kind of learn that it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Something I've learned, yeah.
I'm actually backing off of it myself.
There you go, yeah.
There we go.
So what do you have designed here on some of the lists here?
Well, we have 4 different foods to look at where you could incorporate pretty easily into a heart-healthy eating pattern. So definitely canned beans are simple and easy, and we were just chatting that if you like tuna salad, add chickpeas to your tuna salad. So you're adding more plants plus fiber and nutrition. So that's an easy, quick way. You can kind of mash it together and it's just a delicious option. You can cook lentils from scratch. It only takes about 15 minutes. You don't have to soak them. Silk is a plant-forward beverage, so that comes in various forms from almond to soy-based. So you can work that in. Blueberries, we can't forget about those for heart health because they're one of the healthiest fruits available with antioxidants. So all these foods can help us reduce our risk for heart disease. And don't forget about nuts, peanuts, almonds, and I even have there's a newer product here that is a powdered peanut product which you can stir into smoothies, into a milk beverage, and it is really packed with lots of protein. So they've removed some of the fat and concentrated the protein. It's called PB2 Performance. So these are all some fun things that you can work into this heart healthy eating pattern without being restrictive.
Yeah, just add them in there. Okay, and then you hear people when you talk about restricting meat or not eating quite as much meat, they're worried about protein, but all of this still has protein in it, right?
These all have protein sources, absolutely. And eggs can work into a heart healthy as well. Speaking of eggs, today is the heart healthy brunch at Hy-Vee. So right after this, rush out to the La Crosse Hy-Vee from 8 until 11. So we'll have all kinds of options there, from blueberry oatmeal and avocados will be there. I'll be there with a table talking about our heart healthy screening. We are doing a free cholesterol screening on heart health in the month of February at our Hy-Vee stores throughout the country. So it's a limited opportunity, so please contact the store or me or see us and we'll get you scheduled for that. So it's a great option.
Okay, yeah, you guys have got a lot going on for Heart Month.
Yeah, in this regard, the blueberries, do they have fiber also?
They are very rich in fiber and antioxidants. And another thing that has fiber is a chocolate treat because Valentine's is coming up.
Gotta have our chocolate.
This is a unique product and I'd like you to check it out and sample
we'll try it.
It's called Midday Squares and it's actually functional chocolate, which means there's there's a nutrition benefit to your chocolate. There's fiber added and protein. So it's kind of a rich, tasty, and it's designed for the midday when you get that little slump. That fiber and protein will help stick with you, and it tastes delicious, right?
Tastes just like chocolate and peanut butter. A little sticky there with the peanut butter, but yeah, that's great. And so as we mentioned, today is Wear Red for Women Day. We know women are impacted by heart disease. Any of these foods in particular, anything that you recommend that us women should be focusing on?
Well, it is that variety and that rainbow color. So the more you can have rainbow colors in your food, so that's fruits and vegetables, grains, beans, you're going to be getting toward that heart healthy eating pattern. And it is the #1 killer for women, so we really want to still focus on that. But get screened, get your blood pressure checked, you know, find out what your numbers are. Come and check us out. We do have dietitian services, so we can meet individually with folks that may be having a family history of heart disease. We really want to take a close look at those folks, you know, and help them with this very tasteful way of eating. So think of it as the Mediterranean style of
just
enjoying
adding some
foods.
stuff, right? Yeah. Focus on what you can add.
Instead of taking away.
How do women try to tell their husbands, hey, I have to back off the meat? Please help me out here.
You just do it.
Yeah, you know, and with meat, you know, you can do things like stir fries. So you're using smaller amounts, but then adding the colorful vegetables. So that's a way to kind of still include that meat. And you don't have to avoid anything, really, to eat healthy. So it's really kind of how you balance it over time. So, you know, have fun with it and make sure it tastes good. Include a little chocolate here and there to treat yourself, right?
Yes, all right, Ruthie. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Cheers.
Nice to see you. Cheers. Thank you for the chocolate.
You got it.
Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Get this stylish sofa for just $295. Get up to 60% off list during our huge President's Sale at Slumberland. Gather round this 7-piece dining set, just $499. You'll get the best deals. The huge President's Sale at Slumberland.
It's always been there, his love of the outdoors. Some days, you wonder if it might be his calling. Truth is, you know that the things he's passionate about today will build the foundation of what he does tomorrow, and possibly inspire a new journey. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Jolivet Family Farms, known for farm fresh fruit and vegetables, but featuring so much more. Come see all that we have. Valentine's Day, we have something special for your sweetheart. Homemade goodness, hand-dipped chocolate-covered strawberries, cream cheese pie, heart-shaped cookies, specialty chocolates, candy bouquets, Verde sparkling wine, roses, for all your heart-shaped needs, and so much more. There is no substitute for homegrown freshness, open daily year-round. Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
Brad Schimmel's ad, it's a lie. So here's the truth. Schimmel wants to bring back the 1849 law that bans all abortions, with no exceptions for rape or incest. Schimmel gave plea deals to child molesters, let domestic abusers walk with no jail time. And he's the one who let 6,000 rape kits sit untested for 2 years, while survivors waited for justice. That's Brad Schimmel. Too extreme for the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
The huge President's Sale at Slumberland. Get a Sealy Queen for just $399. Shop America's favorite sleep brands with a 365-night sleep guarantee. Up to 60% off right now during the President's Sale at Slumberland.
Yes! This is you, one place to the next. One more thing to check off the list. But stopping for 30 minutes? Well, that's just not an option. So that's why there's this, the News 8000 app. All your local news, plus a little bit beyond. So take a break when you want to.
I feel like I'm reliving the trauma, like it's just a nightmare that I can't wake up from.
Her life changed dramatically 30 years ago, leaving her feeling abandoned by the justice system. Monday at 6, how a change in victims' rights is helping to repair mistakes of the past. Monday at 6.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your morning news now. Charges have been filed against a suspect in an Eau Claire homicide. 18-year-old Dumarion Stonier faces 10 charges, including first-degree intentional homicide. He's accused of shooting and killing Andre Simmons Jr. in January. His preliminary hearing is February 25th. A judge blocks Trump's plan to cut federal jobs. The cuts would impact thousands of Wisconsin's 19,000 federal workers, from postal workers to VA staff. While tonight's deadline is now on hold, a UW-Milwaukee expert warns these cuts could touch everyday services.
It's very common that when you ask an American, is government too big? They'll say, yeah, government's too big. And we should cut services. Okay. Should we only deliver the mail 3 times a week? No, not that one.
Lee says cuts could slow down programs that provide financial assistance for things like housing and food. The NCAA is banning transgender women from playing on women's teams. This follows an executive order from President Trump that calls for penalties against schools and leagues that allow transgender women to compete in women's sports. And housing, homelessness, and heated debate at UWL as La Crosse's mayoral candidates faced off. La Crosse residents packed in to hear how the 4 candidates would tackle the city's biggest challenges. The city's approach to homelessness took center stage. La Crosse is now in year 2 of its Pathways Home Plan, a partnership aiming to end homelessness in the city by 2029.
We have to be doing a better job as a community of picking up those individuals and putting them back into work and back into housing, because they just need that little lift. That's the missing piece of the Pathways Home.
The high percentage of those that are homeless, generally a result of drug and mental health addiction. And I'm going to push, I've already talked to one state rep and actually the governor, to push to get a state-funded detox and mental health counseling facility on the west side of the state.
Candidates were also asked about creating more affordable housing.
City planning is doing a great job of doing redevelopment and providing funding for renovations to current homes and current properties, while also exploring what land do we have that is buildable, what vacant buildings do we have that we can repurpose.
What we need to make sure we do is when we do add that housing, we have that balance of affordability, and we make sure that that infill is sensitive to the neighborhood so that there isn't a disruption to the neighborhood.
La Crosse residents will vote in the mayoral primary on Tuesday, February 18th. And happening this weekend, you can celebrate Wisconsin favorites in music, food, and spirits at the La Crosse Winter Roots Festival. This is at the La Crosse Center tomorrow. Or get your bowl on for a good cause at the 14th annual Team Vogel Striking Against Cancer Bowling event at Westgate Bowl in Winona. And if you like dinosaurs, now's your chance to ride one at Jurassic Quest in Eau Claire. Ride or hang out with life-sized animatronic dinosaurs. Dig for fossils and bring home your own dino craft at the Old Mill Plaza in Eau Claire.
All right, how about some increasing clouds today with a cold start to getting to at least mild conditions later on in the afternoon. We're also going to hold on to light winds for your day with overnight snow coming in tonight through Saturday. We'll pick up at least 2 to 8 inches of snow in the forecast, possibly for everybody getting into the forecast here. You're looking at least this heavy snow at times. And of course, we'll get into Sunday with drier conditions and of course drier on Monday going into Monday night, though that changes with a 30% chance of snow going into the forecast on Tuesday.
Thank you, Art. Finding former Eagles star Jason Kelce in New Orleans just got a lot harder. 25 lookalikes joined the NFL Center in the French Quarter for a Where's Jason challenge. There he is, right? Hard to tell. Marriott Bonvoy members raced to spot the real Kelce, and the prize is a chance to wake up inside the Superdome on Super Bowl Sunday. Wake up inside? So do they get to spend the night or something, huh? Oh yeah, well there he is.
That would be hilarious to see right there. They're all walking together.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're doing lookalike contests for everyone these days, aren't they?
Mm-hmm,
Maybe we'll host one for you, Art.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Yes,
Senior, we did a great job with that.
Thank you for starting your Friday morning with us. We'll see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your morning.